This is number 2 on Claridge. We are going to take a look at the railroad that serviced the thing. The railroad was coming up from Manor, up through the valley here, up to Claridge. That is the remains of it. I want to thank Coke Oven Mike for these photographs. That's Mike Mance. And you can see how it follows the creek coming up here. Bushy Run. Again, coming around on this area. This is not a natural landform. All this dirt had to be put here, built up to the correct level to get it up to grade. The coal that was hauled up this railroad, down to the tracks at the main line, was gas coal. The name of the mine was a Manor Gas Coal Company. They're making the kind of, they were mining the kind of coal that they used to make gas out of. Gas that was used for mostly lighting, sometimes heating, but that was before natural gas was discovered. They were making gas out of coal. Another place where the tracks went across. Now we get up to the mine itself. Another one of Mike Mance's photos. It's the foundation of a building. And if I understood Mike's notes correctly, it was this building here that we were looking at the foundation of. And we get to look at what mines do. They usually leave a mess behind. This was a, this is the stuff that they couldn't sell that they brought out. They made a dump, a mine dump, up in Cambria County where I come from. They call them bony dumps. And they might down here call them mine dump or slag pile. That's right up here. Maybe I'll be able to come in on it a little bit. Bushy Run battlefield. And right up here is Claridge. And right up here in the north part is the that mine dump. And right in here, right above the creek, right above Bushy Run, was the mine itself. Now I'm going to go to a bit older topo map. This is the area right here that we are looking at. Right in here, this is where the mine dump would be created. In 1904, it wasn't there yet. This is the railroad coming up, and at this point it divides. It turns out to make this array of railroad tracks, which is where the mine itself was. This array of railroad tracks right here is what I was showing you on the topo map. And this is where it went into the mine entrance itself. These were tracks. I think we're going to see some of the tipple down here. This was early on in the 1880s, 1889, when they were not long after starting the place up. This is where the whole coal was hauled into, and they could dump it onto waiting railroad cars and haul it down to the main line and out onto the various places where they needed it. This is the same thing. Only close to 20 years later, there was this is the tipple itself. They had built a boiler house down here. The boiler house made steam to go up to the powerhouse here. That steam up there turned steam engines, which then turned generators, generating electricity that they used here at the mine for electric coal cutters and for the things that moved the coal around on the tracks. This is the tipple we were looking at. the mine where the where the coal came from, the powerhouse where they made the electricity. This again is the tipple. These photos are from 1928, and by this time Westmoreland Coal is using their own name. The mine had been started as the Manor Gas Coal Company, but very shortly Westmoreland bought them out, but didn't use that name. Westmoreland ran it as the Manor Gas Coal Company until probably about 1917. Here's that same tipple. In this case, we're looking down more or less south. This is the tipple we were looking at. We were looking at it from up this way, looking down this way. And as you look up this way, you'll see an office up here. That's the office that I was showing you. And just over this way a little bit was the entrance to the mine. Good idea to have the office close to the entrance so that they can keep track of things. Now here, what I've done is take an old map from about 1915 and put some color on it to show you the divisions, how the place started up. This is where it started from, this green area. This was the Denmark mine, started by the Manor Gas Coal Company, which very early was bought out by Westmoreland Coal and ran as Manor Gas Coal Company. Westmoreland Coal didn't use their own name until about 1917. This down here, the mine up here was right here. What I was showing you as the mine, that was right here. And another mine then, in 1891, began right about down here. It was called the Claridge Gas Coal Company. And by 1902, it was bought out by Westmoreland, rather Keystone Coal and Coke. Keystone Coal and Coke ran it until the 1920s. There was a bad strike in the 1920s, and Keystone didn't want to be bothered with it, and they simply shut the whole mine down in 1923. In the 1920s, another mine began out here. William Q., who lived out here, opened the mine. It wasn't as large an operation as the other ones. And it didn't run that long, only until 1925. This mine here, the Denmark mine, ran till about in the 1930s, into Depression time. I think about 1932 it shut down during the Big Depression. And that was about it for the Claridge mines. Now this shows it today. This is Q-Town over here. This is the mine dump, and this is where the original mine was. These were original houses from the Denmark mine. And then over in this area over here was the mine that was Keystone Coal and Coke's mine. It was started as the Claridge Gas Coal Company until Keystone bought it out. And that's about it. And I think I'm going to do one more of these on Claridge. And until then, we'll see you. So long now.